Hi, I'm Perry Atkinson, General Manager here at theDove. Hey, check out our other videos and check out our website at theDove.us. Okay, we're back, and what a delight to have back in the studio with us today Margueritte Hickman. She's the Division Chief Fire Marshal at the Ashland Fire and Rescue Department in Southern Oregon, and we're here to talk about emergency preparedness. Nice to see you again, Margueritte. You brought the whole store with you.
We did. We brought in a sample emergency kit that we gave away last year at the Ashland is Ready event.
Okay, and that's coming up.
It is November 1st. We have 2 sessions, a morning and an afternoon. It's available on our website at ashlandcert.org.
Okay.
Pre-registration is required. Walking away with something like this for about $10 is a great value. There's way more than $10 worth of things here. You know,
we're hearing more and more about preparedness. And not only is this just good common sense, but I think people are saying, you know what, am I really ready?
Well, and you know, I think that we are a society who we're used to being able to drive our cars, pick up our phones from pretty much just about anywhere. And we don't know what it would really be like if all of that failed. And yeah. I think that we experienced that more 30, 40, 50 years ago of having to survive on our own. And what we are really trying to communicate to the public is, besides the fact that the disaster has occurred, they may not get the resources from emergency services that they're used to either. We may not be able to get there to help immediately. So these are the kinds of things that will help people to survive on their own. First aid kit in the event that you have a small medical type situation, a radio that you can listen to find out what the current emergency is, where you might go for help, a flashlight that doesn't even use batteries, you can wind it up and turn it on. So kind of, you know, great tools to have.
You know, I think when we think of emergencies, we almost think of things that would be somewhat catastrophic, but that's not what you're talking about, right?
Well, catastrophic is certainly what we're what we're preparing for, but it could even be something as simple as we've lost the gas line for a few days, and how do you survive with that? You know, so.
All right, let me give you a website here while you are preparing this. Ashland.or.us is a good place to go to get more information, or ashlandcert.org. You can check it out there. And it's coming up November 1st, and there's quite a few sessions there, or events that you're going to have tied into the major event, where you can learn about being prepared.
Yes.
And I can't say enough about this. I think, you know, we had something the other day. I ran my well dry. Accidentally. I didn't have any water, and it dawned on me I didn't have any water. I wasn't ready for just something simple as that.
Exactly.
You know.
And to think that if you ran out of water because the water supply wasn't going to be there for a while, do you have enough gallons to survive for a few days?
Yeah. All right, so tell us some of the things you're going to be covering during the event.
So during the Ashland is Ready event, we'll have a couple of speakers. One of the speakers that will be there is Althea Riso from the state, who will talk about earthquakes and the subduction zone that we are sitting on. And I've seen her presentation before. It sounds like it could be boring, but she is an amazing presenter. And there'll be a few other presentations on how to get ready. Somebody will talk a little more about an emergency kit, what to put in it. And you know what we really want people to do is get involved. We've spent this whole last month talking about emergency preparedness and things that people can do. Make a plan, have a kit. Be informed. You can sign up for Citizen Alert. You can do that through our website that you just mentioned. And then get involved. And that get involved can be going to some training like that. It can be practicing your plan with your family. It can be throwing your emergency kit out on the floor or table and having everybody take a look at it and say, well, you know, how do we use this and what's missing? What do I need in this as well?
Such as medications or things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How do you and your department now plan for emergencies as well? I mean, I realize you want the individual, but if something was to occur, how are you broken up as a city to handle it?
Well, you know, one of the things that we implemented this last year with our Human Resources Department and Risk Manager is the Employee Emergency Response Team. And so our goal has been, and I think we're pretty close to there, that every city building has a team leader who has a kit that's appropriate for that building, and that building as a whole, separately from the city, is ready for some kind of an emergency. That team leader is going to be the one that's responsible to take an inventory of who's there, make sure accountability, make sure that we're not missing anybody, make sure the needs are taken care of the folks there.
How is, what's the protocol? I mean, is CERT in charge of an emergency? Are you as the fire, as the police? How does that work?
Well, certainly in the city of Ashland, the fire chief also takes the role of the emergency manager. And so I would say that under that, though, depending on the kind of emergency, it may be a different division in our government as far as who's in charge. If we had a flood event, it's going to be the Public Works Department that's in charge of it, but we're all going to work together to make it successful.
That's wonderful. All right, now what about pets? A lot of people have them. I got 2 dogs. What should I be prepared for?
We got to think about them too, and in this emergency kit we should have a little supply of food for them and think about them in our water needs that we have. Maybe a leash, a collar if they don't normally wear those, because you are probably going to want to take them with you. I know I would want to. The other thing to keep in mind, we talked about a plan earlier this month on how you meet up with your family if you're all in different locations and everything. One of the things you can include in your plan is if you're gone during the day and your pets are at home, which is the case for many of us, maybe find a neighbor that is willing to make sure that the pets are okay. Maybe the neighbor takes them if there's a disaster and you meet up later. Have that alternative idea plan in place as well. And
what about what advice would you have with families that have members that have disabilities?
Well, certainly if it's a family member that you can help to provide that assistance to, then you're going to need to do that. If it's somebody that's living on their own or needs some other help, one, coordinating with your neighbors, see if there's somebody that can help you out with that. Also, RV COG has a disaster registry that may be helpful to that person as well.
All right, so at your website, are there other resources there that people be aware of?
Absolutely. Everything that we've talked about this month, you can find it either on our website or a link to it from the ashlandcert.org. You can find a link to the Ashland is Ready event. Another event that people may want to consider is the CERT teams, the Community Emergency Response Teams. There's a few of them in the Valley. They all do basic training at some time or another. We have one coming up. That's another way. It's a little longer, more intense training than the 4 hours or 3 hours on November 1st, but it's another way that you can learn. You'll find all of that at our website. Okay, now those who may not attend the event but want to put a kit together, what do you suggest? How do they start doing this? So you can either come up with your own list of things that you think might be helpful to you, or you can go to our website. We've got a list there. You can link to ready.gov, which also has a list. And I think that your personal kit, this is a starter kit. Everybody took that home, and I think it's a great starter kit. Right. But you want to think of your family. If you've got 2 or 3 kids and you don't have power, what's going to entertain them? Because you're not going to have the iPod and all that kind of stuff. Yahoo! So we need a book maybe, or some cards, small things that can be entertainment for them. How about our needs as far as, some food? We've got one ready kit there. Is that like a dry thing? Yes, and it's that one's I think got 2,400 calories in it. Boy, that's pretty dense stuff. We've got some bars. Thinking of some things that will have a pretty long shelf life. I think that has a 5-year shelf life. These have a lower shelf life, so if you put something like that in there, you're going to want to rotate them out at some point. It's really, you can start with that list, but I think you really want to tailor it to your family and what your personal family's desires are. Maybe a Bible in your emergency kit. Good. Yeah, you bet. And well, listen, I just want to encourage you to check this out. It's coming up November 1st, and you can go to ashlandcert.org. There you go. And you can check out the event there. And if you sign up, it's $10 to go to the whole day. You'll get this, right? Something similar. This is last year's kit, and we might have a few different things in it this year. But okay. Yes. And some great speakers. The earthquake thing is the big one coming. And boy, things are rocking and rolling. We ought to be ready for it. Absolutely. Yeah. This will keep us ready for pretty much anything that happens. All right. Well, check it out. And again, that's ashlandcert.org, and you can check it out there. Or if you just want to go to the normal website there, it's ashland.org/cert.
.or.us, and you can check out a lot of things going there. Well, Marguerite, this is fantastic, and I hope a lot of people are paying attention to this. Sometimes we just kind of let these things pass, but I think we've gotten caught, whether it's an earthquake or a power outage. You know, we've had some torrential rain, some threatening fires and all these things. Are we ready? Are we ready for something? And I would say probably the average household is not.
Got to answer that question ourselves for each of us individually. Yes.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Now, are you coordinating with other departments too throughout the Valley?
Absolutely. Through the emergency management program, we are working with all of the emergency management groups throughout the Valley as well as with CERT.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for what you do. And again, let me really encourage you. This is really a no-brainer, but sometimes we just kind of let these things slide. Let me encourage you to check it out. Again, that's ashlandcert.org for the event coming up November 1st, how to promote and participate in the preparedness for your family, and share it with family members and friends. Put a kit together, get some water, get some basic things, make sure everybody knows where it is in the house. You know, I carry a small little kit in the car, first aid, you know, but you never know where you're going to get caught and what could happen. But let's just be good stewards and be on top of these things. So fascinating things. Thank you, Marguerite. And again, looking forward to a great event, and maybe look on the other side and see how it went.
Sounds like a plan.
Thanks for your service.
Oh, thank you, Perry.
Okay, we'll see you next time on Focus Today.